forest situated between the rivers Narmada and Godavari in the Deccan was uninhabited by humans except for ashramas of various tapasvis and sannyasis, writes Valmiki. Living in lonely dark jungles, the saintly hermits exercised penance. While there were animals and birds who lived in harmony, these hermits were often attacked by Rakshasas, evildoers as opposed to Devatas, who were invariably described as good. Travelling through Danadakaranya, Rama noticed many ashramas established by the tapasvis. A stunning aura created by a constant study of the scriptures and chanting by the tapasvis permeated these hermitages. Kusha and bark clothes were put to dry in every enclave. The floors were clean and one could see domesticated animals and birds in these ashramas in plenty. The hermitages were dotted by large yagshalas and were stocked with pots and other containers to store the ahuti and ghee for sacrificial yagyas, deer skin and samidha, pitchers full of clean fresh water and fruits and flowers. The princes carried their bows and arrows and swords as a mark of their being Kshatriyas, as well as for protection against wild animals, dacoits, and the Rakshasas who could attack anyone wandering in the dense forest. Sita, however, had a word of advice for Rama regarding the use of his weapons. At an opportune moment, she said in a sweet voice, "Arya, I am aware that you are a great man. Yet, in my humble opinion, you are moving towards adharma. As you are not prone to any passionate responses, you can easily avoid committing a sinful act. In this world, karma leads to 3 flawed actions," said Sita. Telling a lie is a major sin. However, worse than this are coveting another's wife and treating others cruelly without enmity or motive. You have always been devoted to me, and I am sure you would never covet another's wife. You have been a model of truthfulness, Dharma, and filial devotion. You are one of those who have conquered their senses and emotions, Rama. Resultantly, you are always truthful. However, you have not been able to avoid committing the 3rd sin, that of being violent and killing another being without reason. Mark the words. There is a woman speaking to her husband and telling him the truth of life as she sees it. You have promised protection to the rishis residing in the Dandakaranya by killing the Rakshasas. This worries me. I am your well-wisher. I do not approve of your wandering in the forest for this purpose. It is likely that you will use your arrows to kill the Rakshasas who dwell in this forest. As fuel stokes a fire and makes it burn fiercer and brighter, weapons incite the killer in the Kshatriyas. With faith in my love and regard for you, I ask you not to kill any Rakshasa living in Dandakaranya if he is not inimical to you. Nobody approves of the killing of an innocent person. Remarkable words. A restrained Kshatriya carries arms only for the protection of others. Arms and living in exile do not go together. This environment does not look upon the act of killing others kindly. You ought to respect the sanctity of the forest. Dharma leads to prosperity and ensures happiness. It is also a source of all that you desire. Dharma is the bedrock of this universe. A wise man follows the principles of renunciation as prescribed for the Vanaprastha ashram. He reduces his wants and enfeebles his body. Materialistic accumulation of goods, though desirable for a comfortable life, does not lead to spiritual elevation. I, said Sita, therefore ask you to lead a pious life according to the requirements of the tapovana. A few moments lapsed. O daughter of the king Janaka, replied Rama after a thoughtful pause, you have uttered these words for my well-being because of your love for me. Your advice regarding the duty of a Kshatriya befits you and reflects your thinking. You have said that Kshatriyas carry a bow and arrow so that we can be protected. The Munis living in Danadakaranya are a suffering lot. They have sought my protection against the unscrupulous Daityas. The latter disrupt the yajna being performed by the ascetics and take away all the holy food and collect it for the occasion. Listening to their plaint, I have assured them of full protection. I cannot violate my promise in this lifetime. I do not have any dispute with your advice, Sita, tendered to me out of love and affection. Your words reflect your upbringing, and as my wife, you are dearer to me than my life. However, I cannot deviate from my truth, the promise that I gave to the hermits to protect them against all odds. It's a remarkable dialogue, laying down certain rules of the game, an elaboration on the concept of Dharma, of behavior, and of the protection of the innocents. Valmiki wrote, but he had a social purpose all the time, and that is reflected throughout the story of Ramayana. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram.